This is the Chris and Aaron Show with Kristen, Zach, and Aaron Camaro.
It's good here. Yeah. Tap, 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 tap. Welcome to the Decibel Geek Podcast. Now coming to you in Braille.
There's a jackknife trailer on I-405.
That's funny. The old tap test.
The police are slowly following the white Bronco. O.J. Simpson's in the back. He's threatening suicide.
Yeah. I'm down in my buddy's basement drinking beer and listening to Metallica.
Oh, really?
Yeah. At a party. I remember it. I was at a party in Wisconsin, drinking beer, listening to Metallica, shooting pool in my buddy's basement. And it's like, what the fuck is on TV? So he says, you gotta come see this.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? I started looking at it. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And it's coverage of the O.J. Simpson, him running with the Bronco.
Mm-hmm. We were at my uncle's house in Memphis, and I just got out of the pool. They had an in-ground pool in the backyard. And I'll never forget that, getting out of the pool. And then at first we saw was the press conference that the police did saying O.J. Simpson is a fugitive from justice and we're looking for him.
Wow.
And I was like, what? O.J. Simpson? And me and my whole family we were glued to the TV for the next 5 hours, just through the whole thing. It was crazy.
That had to have been the birth of reality TV right there.
That was
because the ratings were insane for that.
Had to have been.
Because it was on every channel, right?
Every channel, yeah. And there's a 30 for 30 that ESPN did on it. And, well, not just about OJ, but it's about that day in particular. And it was all the sporting events going on and OJ's chase. So it's it bounces back and forth with what was going on that day. It's a pretty interesting day.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I was addicted to that whole trial.
Yeah.
Me and my dad bonded over that trial.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because
you both believed he was innocent.
He did.
Yeah?
I went back and forth a few times throughout the trial because both sides did a good job, but he grew up watching him play football, and then I grew up with him in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember he was a big deal in football too, but he was also a broadcaster too. And
sure, he was an awesome football player.
He was always the sideline reporter for the NFL. NFL was on NBC at the time.
Yeah. And, so the guys wearing those kind of tan yellow jackets, the
and
brown ties,
but
flat pants.
It was crazy because but I'll never forget that whole trial. I was at MTSU going to college, and then I'd come home on the weekends, and my dad, he sold portable X-ray machines to small hospitals and clinics. That was his job.
All right.
So he would during the week he would pack those up and then take them to hospitals, and sometimes it was local. So a lot of time he just worked out of a home office. So he would watch that trial while he worked at his desk in his bedroom, and I would come home every Friday and we would talk about the trial through the whole weekend. And then to round it out, and because there's always a Kiss connection, I've got a videotape that's got Kiss Unplugged from October 1995, but before that on the tape is the O.J. Simpson verdict because I taped it.
Oh, wow.
Because, I taped it when I was at my dorm room my first semester of college. I'll never forget that. I still have the tape, too.
Got to catch this moment in history.
Yeah, I still have the tape with both things on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. How'd we get off on O.J. Simpson?
I don't know. We were talking.
Because I was doing them.
Yeah. It's funny every time.
Vince Neil has killed Razzle from Hanoi Rocks just to make it more rock and roll.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
No, now it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What other, important things were there? We've talked about where we were when 9/11 happened.
I was waiting tables in a Perkins restaurant.
Yeah. I was working on radio, stoned out of my mind, going, what am I doing here?
That was a crazy day to be on radio.
I'm way over my head. I don't know what's going on.
Princess Diana dying, I remember that. I was at my grandmother's when that went down.
I don't really remember that one. Not like it was an event or anything.
It was to my family, not so much me.
Yeah.
But I remember it because they were like, oh my God. I was like, some royalty lady from England out
Another country. We don't have any VIPs from the UK, do we?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they're all American, if I'm I could be wrong.
Stupid royals from another country.
No, we
Who
do some
cares
Canadian.
about-
We do some Canadian ones though. I think
They don't care about the Queen.
just the Freddie Mercury Queen,
Yeah.
which that's my daughter's new favorite band.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of the did it start with like Adam Lambert and work into Queen?
She shows like Glee and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
they'll do stuff on them and
You're only allowed to watch the Kiss episode.
right. Oh God, was that lame?
Yeah.
No, there was a show called Drake and Josh, and they did a thing with We Will Rock You on that. So stuff like that, and then there was something else, but I can't remember. But stuff like that got her into like We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Bohemian Rhapsody, which that song is in the ether. You know, everyone's gonna know about that.
I was thinking about that. Was Bohemian Rhapsody a big hit for them when it first came out?
Oh, yeah.
Or okay.
It was a bigger hit when Wayne's World came
Yeah,
out.
because Wayne's World, I think,
Yeah.
was the first time I'd ever heard it, and I was like, this song sucks. Wait a minute, no, it's really cool. Oh no, it's weird, you know. But it was like there's the moment when it rocks out
It's a
in the
rock
middle.
opera.
Yeah, when it rocks out in the middle, I really like that part. But the rest of it is just kind of weird. But
I
you know,
love that
it's
song.
a cool song.
No, it was. I mean,
It's epic for sure.
as far as I remember, as far as I know, it was a hit.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of their biggest hits, but it was a radio single. But no, Wayne's World made it a massive
blew it up.
hit. And I
I
remember.
bet you that thing hit Billboard twice because that
Oh,
had to
sure.
have been a single because they had a video for
it
it,
did.
right?
Yeah, it was a single for sure. Yeah, they did a whole video and everything.
Bet you they made more money on it when it came out in Wayne's World
I would
year.
believe so. Yeah,
Huge over.
yeah.
But only once in a while. It doesn't happen all the
No,
time.
it's
and it really
rare.
doesn't happen anymore.
No, not really.
Is there any other songs like that?
The
You
last
think of
one
that
I
came
remember
back?
that blew up all over again was "Don't Stop Believing" for the Sopranos finale. Like that definitely gave that song a whole new
Right.
resurgence.
True. And if you look at like
and it's been big ever since.
yeah, if you look at like
Yeah.
iTunes reviews
Yeah.
or not reviews, but like top sellers,
Yeah,
you know, there's some in there that are from way back, like the Eagles, Hotel California is
Sure.
probably always right up there, and AC/DC,
Well,
Back in Black, and
this-
albums like that.
shows like Glee and all the singing competitions. Those types of shows have helped bring some of those older songs back into the
Yeah.
limelight, but otherwise wouldn't have been.
And then you hear the real thing and be like, this is way better than that lame-ass TV show I've been watching. But I'm hooked.
I would hope so. But no, my daughter, she's really gotten into Queen, and it was funny. We were going to the gym the other night, and I was playing Queen songs through Spotify for her. I was playing her like, because she's really into poppy stuff. So
Yeah.
I was like Radio Gaga and I Want to Break Free from like the 80s albums, you know, when they got a little bit more bubblegum sounding. And she liked that stuff too. And like we're driving along, and like we have a book that a guy that's in publishing sent us, which we can start doing some giveaways. But it's a book on Queen. It's like a picture and history and everything. And she's been reading it because I took it home for her the other day. And we're driving along listening to Queen songs. And she goes, "Did you know that Brian May built his own first guitar and he still uses it to this day?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he built it with his dad." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you really are reading that book?" And I'm like, I was just so proud.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then last night we were driving back from the gym.
Maybe
and
there is hope for this
I
show
know.
living on after we die.
I had her listening to Racer X on the way home yesterday, and she actually got into it. I was just
Now
like,
listen, Hannah, if you're going to take over the show someday, these are things you're going to have to know. you
yeah.
know?
I was playing it for her because she's not into hard rock so much, but like if it's got a hook, she'll listen to it. But
Yeah.
she can also appreciate good playing, like good musicianship. And I was playing her some Racer X from Second Heat on the way home, like Scarified and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen to what that dude's doing. And she's like, wow. And so she was at least impressed with the playing. So I was like,
That's cool.
I'm trying to get her turned on to this type of music.
Right on.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Because I was like, your mom's a lost cause, but there's hope for you.
Right. Now, if I can keep Ace out of prison, there might be hope.
Yeah. He'll be hosting a podcast from jail. Decibel Geek Jail Edition.
Yeah, they got Skype in prison? Great.
Oh man,
Crazy.
I didn't even know we were going to do Chris and Aaron tonight, so that's cool.
That's why I just flipped it on and
No,
started
that's
hitting record.
fine.
Because we do that every time. We sit down
start
and start
talking.
having a good
Yeah.
conversation. We should have recorded the first 10 minutes of us talking.
Talking about sneaking out of the house as teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great stories.
Well, you did mention,
I'll have to bring it up.
this may be too personal, but like you mentioned how you and your dad just never seemed to get along. What was the big impasse with you and your dad getting along?
Black Sabbath's the best. No way, man. It's Kiss. And that's that.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it was very serious.
I don't know.
Just different personality style, or
I don't know. I don't know
was
what it
he
is.
grumpy all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it always seemed to me growing up that, like, having kids ruined his life.
Oh.
You know, and chained him down to this life where now I'm paying for a house and paying for a couple of cars and having to go to work in the frickin' sliver factory every day, and it's all because of, you know, you kids.
Did he say stuff like that?
No.
But he had that
but
demeanor.
that's always the vibe that I got. He was always in such a bad mood all the time.
Yeah.
I remember the episode of The Simpsons when Homer Simpson, like, Bart's going to jump the ravine, and Homer saves him at the last minute. But when they're, like, embracing at the end, and Homer's like, "Oh, I saved you, boy," and he's like, "Thanks, Dad, you know, I was so scared," whatever. But Homer's standing on the skateboard, and it starts to roll away as he's talking to Bart. And next thing you know, he's jumping the ravine because he's just stuck on the skateboard flying down the ramp. So it's now he's stuck. He's gonna jump. So Homer flies down on the skateboard, hits the ravine, the jump, and goes flying over this big old off the cliff over this big ravine, and he's flying through the air, and he sees the other side, and he says, "I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it." And then he drops, and then it's bang, 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 bumping his head. Ooh, oh, no, you know, all the way down the hill. And my dad laughed so hard. And I was just blown away because I'd never heard him laugh like that.
Really?
Yeah, you know, and I was just like, man, I wish I could have a recording of that. But yeah, you know, my dad was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Hard to get through to, you know, didn't really, I don't know.
So just not very outwardly affectionate, just kind of to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad all the time.
Mad all the time, just a hot temper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't get that from him. I'm a little more like my mom in that respect.
Well, that's good.
Because my mom's a little more mellow.
I got my dad's temper.
Yeah.
My dad had a real hot temper.
Yeah.
But I got the worst of both worlds. I got my dad's temper and my mom's passive aggressiveness, which I suck at doing that too. Like, I can guilt the shit out of somebody if I want to, and it'll happen, and it'll happen without me. It'll happen unconsciously sometimes.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll realize, oh God, I just, like, you know, I'm not even trying to make somebody feel like shit, but I'm like, man, I just made them feel like total shit.
Yeah.
And then I feel horrible for it. But like, and then I also got her guilt complex. I got all the worst qualities of my parents.
See, my mom's got a lot of great qualities, but my dad, you know, it's like, I don't have his temper. It takes me a while to get there, but once I'm there, then I become the raging maniac that he was.
Right.
But it takes me a long while to get there.
So I'm guessing that day at Crystal, you were close to your dad's level at that point.
No.
Still not approaching it.
No, I was more like my dad, because my dad would be like totally ice cold in the situation, but then
blow up later,
explode once you got you by yourself.
Oh, okay.
And that's pretty much how I handled it with Ace.
Yeah.
I was cool, you know. I was upset, obviously,
right?
And I was shaking. I was so mad, you know. But you guys know that story, showing up at the Crystal with
we went
the building all crushed in.
Well, and I don't know,
but I didn't really scream at him until it was more like, what?
Yeah.
You know, I don't even barely remember.
All I remember is the cop
tried to push it out of my mind.
Cop pulled you aside and was like, "Sir, please don't beat him up."
Yeah. Because I'm sure I had that fire in my eyes. I'm sure I did. Because I was feeling it was burning within me.
Well, my dad passed in '97. Is your dad still around?
My dad's still around.
Okay.
But I haven't talked to him in a long ass time.
Yeah, just don't talk.
He had a deal where, you know, he ended up with heart surgery, and they like cracked his ribs open and did the whole shebang to him.
Wow.
And you know,
that probably changed him a lot.
Well, he'd kind of mellowed out before then because
Yeah.
him and my mom got divorced a long, long time ago.
Mm.
And he was staying up in that house in Wisconsin by himself. And then my brother and his wife and kids moved back up there and lived with him, keep him company and keep him, in good care. And, but I had a talk with him at that time. And I was just like, look, man, I don't think you were a bad dad.
Mm.
And what I actually realized all these years later was that I was a shitty kid. And I'm real sorry for it,
Oh, how did that go over?
But he was like, he's my dad, so he doesn't really say a whole hell of a lot. And, but I think we kind of came to peace a little bit on it. But, man, he don't call me, I don't call him.
Yeah.
I really should. I know I should. Because when he does go, I'm going to totally regret these times.
Well, I can testify to that.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, I think I bonded more with my dad from 13, 14 on.
Yeah.
But because he wasn't around much when I was little because he was a salesman, so he'd be on the road most of the time, and like hell, from age 6 to 9, he was the national sales rep for a tool company, and
Right on.
like the top guy, and he was traveling. I'd see him maybe 4 or 5 days a month at the most.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Most of my relationship with him was getting postcards and presents when he would come back into town.
Yeah.
So my mom had it hard during those years. She was a stay-at-home mom at that point because she had to be.
Right.
And we made good money, but I never saw my dad.
I suppose it was enough to keep her from having to get a job.
Yeah, but it was hard work for her with me and my brother.
Yeah, I suppose.
But yeah, that was
All the time, no breaks.
yeah. And my brother never bonded with him quite all the way. They were
Yeah.
just too different as people. But me and him bonded a lot over music and over sports.
Yeah.
Once, because we had Vanderbilt season tickets for
Well,
football,
I mean,
and
I can kind of understand. I mean, being that your brother was Public Enemy fan number 1.
oh yeah, that did not go over well. Believe me. Oh man,
that'll put a gap,
Dad did not like that. But
Like Kiss, I'll take Kiss.
It's funny. I was more rebellious in nature, but Eric had all of Eric's interests would make you think that he was the rebellious one, but he wasn't. He just had no interest in anything my dad had an interest in.
Yeah.
My brother was into Robotech and building costumes for Star Wars. And
Right.
My dad had no interest in any of that stuff. My dad wanted to watch football, baseball, and
But I bet you any money if your dad were to see some of the stuff, the
He would have been
costumes he
impressed,
creates
yeah.
today, he'd be super impressed.
absolutely. And he was proud of my brother, but they just never could kind of meet in the middle and get along all the way. They got along okay, but it was always strained. It was like
Younger brothers always
underlying
got
strain.
it easier.
I guess, but
Because my younger brother had it easier than
but it
me
was
with
just
him.
me and my dad had more in common.
Yeah.
That was really the only thing that made it any better.
Probably the same case with my dad and myself and my brother. They just had more in common than he and I did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he loved my brother less or anything. He just could relate to me better because I had more of the similar interests.
Right.
And I played sport. He kind of lived vicariously through us with sports.
I should have had like 10 kids. I probably would have really liked 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, wow. That's not a good ratio.
I'm just saying for sure.
Yeah.
I'm guessing for sure at least 2 or 3 of them you'd really, really like.
Yeah, but I don't think we've ever talked
Deal
about...
with the rest.
We've never really talked about stuff like this. So
Uh-uh.
I figure the VIPs will get a real behind the curtain.
No, because I
view.
think we kind of got off started where we weren't really recording, but we were. So I just kept recording.
Well, we talk about stuff like this off mic, but not usually. But yeah, I mean, I still miss my dad dearly, even though we
Yeah.
butted heads quite a bit at times too. He didn't. He liked that I played guitar. He wasn't real crazy about the company I kept when I started playing guitar because I think at one point he even said something like, "Are you purposely trying to find the biggest dirtbags to hang out with?" Like, I mean, I think like he did not like the bandmates I had.
Like, that's kind of the idea with a rock and roll band.
Yeah,
Dad.
and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be kind of square if we don't. But yeah, and my best friend Wes, who was the drummer, we still have to get Wes out here because boy, you want to hear some really funny stories. But my dad could not stand Wes, and Wes didn't like my dad either. So there was always tension there. Like when my dad died, my friend Wes was like, "I didn't get along with Bob, and Bob didn't get along with me, but I'm sorry that you lost your dad." And I'm like, took you a lot to say that, Wes, because he did not like my dad at all. But yeah, every time Wes would come over, he'd be like, "Oh God, Wes is here." So yeah, it was. He's like, Wes has no ambition, no drive.
We gotta meet Wes.
Oh, Wes is a character unto himself, like a real character. He would. I still give him shit for this, but he never left the state until he was in his 20s. Like he never traveled or anything, and his whole worldview was within a 50-mile radius. And he would say, we're driving one day and he saw a car with Ohio plates, and he goes, Chicago, Ohio. And I said, what? And he's like, Chicago, it's in Ohio, right? I'm like, no, dumbass, it's in Illinois. Like he would say shit like that all the time, and and be serious too, and not realize it. And the song Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC, he thought they were saying 30 Thieves and the Thunder Chief. Next time you listen to it.
Which is pretty cool too, you know?
Yeah, and I told him at one point, I was like, I want to name our band that. I want to call the band 30 Thieves and the Thunder Chief. And
that's a great name.
And have Wes with a big Indian headdress on the drums.
That'd be awesome. See, that's why you guys didn't make it. If you'd have done that, if he would have turned to you and said, that's brilliant. You guys, you wouldn't even be talking to me today.
Probably not.
I'd be interviewing you.
And him and his brother looked like the Campbell Soup kids. They were real chubby and had rosy cheeks and everything.
Nice.
And we always used to joke that his younger brother Jeffrey we told him that we wanted him to come out wearing tidy whities and eat a bowl of mashed potatoes on stage the whole time we're playing with no explanation or anything. Just sit there on the edge of the stage and eat mashed potatoes and then go off.
Just give a thumbs up once in a while. Yeah. You got to eat it with your hands.
Yeah, but we wouldn't acknowledge him or anything. He would just sit there, eat mashed potatoes, and then we'd finish the set. These are the stupid fucking ideas we would have when we were practicing.
That's actually pretty brilliant.
For real performance art.
If you'd have done these things, who knows? That's awesome.
Man. Yeah, we had a song called Liquid Bum Butter. I mean, we were dumbasses. I mean, there's some stupid... I've got to get him over here because the stories won't have enough justice unless he's sitting here with us.
Did you ever break out the acoustic guitar with the old man and play that one for him?
Liquid Bum Butter? No. I remember they came to... anytime there was a hotel called the Friendship Inn in Kingston Springs, and we would do writers' night out there because... our guitar players' parents were legitimate country songwriters. They actually had songs that were on radio and everything.
Right on.
So they would talk to us well, you guys should play Unplugged down at the Friendship Inn thing. And we're doing this depressing grunge music and everything. And we did okay, but my parents came to a couple of those because they were more low key. And then we would rent out the City Hall of Kingston Springs. You could rent it out for $75 and have it for 24 hours. And we would put concerts on at the City Hall. And this was a real strange period in time for the band that we had. Jeremy Gwynn, I should get out here too, the other guitar player. Jeremy's legitimately crazy. I'm not kidding. I'm not just saying he's a crazy guy. He's literally a crazy guy.
Literally.
He would write the weirdest fucking songs. He wrote a song called The Coke Machine. It's about going and getting a Coke out of the Coke machine. I mean, it was that bad, and it's just pure noise. He wrote another song called Let the Deer's Head Laugh. We had the most retarded songs. But we were doing shit like that, and it was just... in the City Hall, it's just a room with hard tile floors, terrible insulation, and the sound just bounces off every wall.
Yeah.
So we're in there with everything cranked all the way to the max, and the sound is just reverberating everywhere. I mean, you might as well... if you wanted to destroy your ears, you came to our show at City Hall. And my mom and dad showed up for that show. I invited them to every show.
Yeah.
But they never came to any of the ones we played downtown or Madison or anything. They wouldn't go to any of those. So we're at City Hall, and I remember they walked in, they sat there, and we were playing the Coke Machine, which is just pure fucking noise. It was a terrible song. And I remember my mom was just plugging her ears the entire time, and my dad was just shaking his head what the fuck is this? So yeah, it was... they lasted all of 10 minutes, and they left.
Wow.
But and we recorded our first demo in my living room.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night. My parents have to wake up early in the morning, and we were there recording all day, and this on a 4-track Fostex. It's basic as it can get.
Bottom of the line.
Yeah, and this guy would travel to people's houses and record their bands for $25.
Wow.
And I still have the flyer. Demo's done cheap, really cheap. I still have it somewhere.
Nice.
And he shows up, and he's recording our with 3 songs, and we're doing all the music all through the day. And my parents are off at my grandmother's all day. They're thinking, well, we'll give you all day and you'll be done. They get home at like 9 o'clock at night, and it's getting close to 10, and then it's time to do the vocal recording. So they're upstairs, and then our singer Jeff is in the living room, and like there's no walls between, so they can hear everything. And we're recording a vocal track, so Jeff can hear the music in the headphones, but nobody else can hear the music.
All they can hear is
him screaming his head off. She's inside and shit like that, and it just. And
wow!
They were miserable. They were like, is this going to take much longer? Because like the guy that was recording us, he is a fucking 4-track recorder, and he thought he was Bob Ezrin. So he's like making Jeff do take after take after take of this, and just screaming over and over again. I'll never forget that night. And
wow, I bet you they won't either.
No, and we were like 17, 18 years old, so we would come up with 2 or 3 good chords, and we would just play those chords over and over and over again, and never do any changes in the songs.
Yeah.
Because we like, once we got these 3 chords, we're like, this sounds great. Let's just keep playing it for 5-10 minutes, and we would do. That's the way we wrote our songs. Then we didn't know what the hell we were doing. And I remember my dad specifically, when we were on a break one day, he's like, "You guys just play the same fucking thing over and over again." Like, and everyone died laughing. And that was around the time we moved rehearsing over to Jeremy's house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but we got to get Wes or Jeremy over here because there's some really funny stories to be told.
He figured us out. We got to move.
No, it wasn't that. It was just like I could tell my dad was losing his patience. Yeah. So it's like, it's time to move on somewhere else. But
that's funny.
Oh, I could tell old band stories all day. There's some funny shit there. But we will get to those in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
You were in a band too, right?
Yeah. Not really. I started out, my first band was called Rock Candy Dynamite. Isn't that an awesome name? Yeah. I can't believe we never made it huge. But we were just in like junior high. I had a Yamaha guitar, and my buddy had a guitar that he turned into a bass somehow.
Just put 4 strings on it?
In a wood shop. But then we had a buddy who had drums over at his house. And we just go over there, and it was just, we were kids trying to figure out how to fucking play songs, and just trying to make shit up, We'd all take turns singing and stuff, but we never did nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see. The only closest thing I really ever came was I was jamming with a dude named Paulie, and Paulie was a fucking awesome guitar player, and I started playing bass just to be able to fucking jam with him.
Right.
And we were writing some songs, and I was singing some of them, and he was singing some of them, and they were pretty fucking awesome. And we ended up, man, I was running rough back then. This would have been before Ace was born, probably just a little while before Ace was born, so I guess none of it really would have ended up mattering. But we were writing songs, we worked together, and then we'd get together after work, and we'd fucking jam and write stuff, and it was a lot of fun. The songs were really fucking good. I was really proud of them. But I was running rough at this time, so there was a pool tournament going on in this little town called Hurley. And Hurley is up almost into the Upper Peninsula, way up northern Wisconsin.
All right.
And it's like an old west town covered in snow. It's really rough. This main street is like hotel, tavern, strip club. Hotel, tavern, strip club, hotel, right down the main street, and then back up the other side. There's like, down that block or 2, whatever it is, there's like 6 or 7 strip clubs.
Wow.
It's like bachelor town up there. I think it was founded by like the guys from Chicago back in the day, like Al Capone and those guys would go up to Hurley.
I had a relative in that group.
Yeah?
I told you about that, right?
He was probably in Hurley at one time or another.
He was Al Capone's bookkeeper.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, I bet you he spent some time in Hurley, Wisconsin.
Probably, yeah.
But I couldn't turn down going to Hurley. I had to go. But Paulie's like, hey, I'm meeting this drummer, and, possibly meeting another guitar player and a bass player, and you could probably just sing more, and we could figure out something like that. But it was the same weekend as the pool tournament. I'd already committed to go, and I knew it was going to be like a massive party to end all parties. And I just couldn't miss it. Everything was paid for. All my drinks were paid for. I didn't even have to shoot pool. I just had to cruise around with the entourage.
Right.
And It was fucking awesome. But I told Paulie, you know, yeah, go meet these guys, go hang with them, jam with them, whatever.
That was it.
But just don't fucking hire nobody until I get a chance to all see them, because, you know, these are my songs too, you know, and let's, you know, just don't, because I knew Paulie. Don't just fucking be like, you guys are awesome, you're hired, you know. And so
that's what happened.
And I was like, and I'll be back, man. I'm just going for the weekend, and I'll be back. And he was mad that I was going.
Oh.
You gotta put the band first. I was like, I've been waiting for this for too long.
Yeah.
And got back, and I go to Paulie, and I say, hey, man, how did it turn out? And he's like, those guys are fucking awesome. I hired them. I was like, son of a bitch, Paulie, you know. Well, we got to meet him. I think I've told you this story before.
Yeah.
It ends up being a drummer who only really drums for country bands, but he really would like to try rock, which was cool. I was cool with that. He was a good drummer. The other two guys, we get talking to them, and they're like, well, our vision of a band is to take the songs off Eddie and the Cruisers soundtrack and just like take the music but change the words, because those songs are so awesome. We'll be massively famous. I was just like, what are you saying? Like, to take the song, like Eddie and the Cruisers soundtrack, the songs off of there, and just totally copy them,
right?
But change them? Yes.
Well, so we plagiarize them.
The whole album they wanted to plagiarize. They were such big fans of that fucking album. It was insane. And the one dude, I mean, he was from Wisconsin.
Well, it's like, if you're going to do them, you might as well do them with the lyrics then.
Yeah, I mean, let's just become
be
a cover band.
Be a tribute band then.
A tribute band to a
fictional band.
See, it was insane to me, you know? And I was like, no, we actually got these songs. And so then when we play out, it would be like 2 different shows.
Right.
It'd be like half of it would be me and Paulie's songs, and then the other half would be these fucking goofballs trying to rip off
Eddie and the
Cruisers.
So you did Eddie and the Cruisers songs?
And I didn't have no say in picking the name. I didn't have no say in picking the name.
I remember this, yeah.
So the name of the band, Rock Solid.
But that's the name that the band used in the Eddie and the Cruisers sequel.
I didn't even know that at the time.
Yeah, Eddie like faked his death and like started up another band under an assumed name, and that was the name that they settled on the movie. It's like, of all fucking cheesy names.
A couple years later, I saw that and was like, holy fuck. Now it all comes together.
If you've never watched Eddie and the Cruisers 2, that's required viewing, because it is so awful.
That was the end of the line for me.
I want to do a commentary on that movie.
Yeah?
Yes.
Jeez. Bad memories. That was the end of the line for me. I was pretty heartbroken. I used to jam with my buddy Shannon. He was a member of Rock Candy Dynamite from way back.
That reminds me, like, Wes wanted to call us Electric Destruction.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not calling ourselves Electric Destruction.
We were influenced mainly by Faster Pussycat.
Yeah. That sounds like a glam band name.
Rock Candy Dynamite right there. We were going to do it up. We would have wore makeup and everything.
I remember one of our working band names. This was me and Wes. Like, we did this, the band I was talking about before was our band in high school that was Primrose Way, which you can see the video on YouTube of us.
You gave me the CD.
Oh, was there a CD of that?
Yeah. Well, no, not the CD, but the CD, the Nashville CD.
Oh, no, that was late. That was Say Uncle. That was a different band. But that was me and Wes playing.
No, I thought it said Primrose Way on there.
Did it?
Yeah.
I'll have to look at it. But no,
some Nashville compilation.
No, that was Say Uncle. Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, it wasn't Primrose Way.
All right then.
But one of our working names later on was Crime, but it was CHRYME, like the beginnings of the words crystal meth. I came up with that one, and I wasn't doing crystal meth. I just thought it sounded cool.
Wow.
But yeah, it was lame.
That's pretty cool.
It's not as cool as Rock Solid, but you know.
The best fucking band name I ever had was not for a real band. It was when I first got my guitar, and my buddy Jason had a guitar, and we would jam together and fantasize about becoming huge rock stars, and the name of our band was going to be Malevolence. Malevolence.
That's not bad.
It's inspired by Dark Light.
Yeah, Dark Light.
Yeah, the Malevolent Order. Because then it went from, well, let's be the Malevolent Order. Because we were looking through Kiss songs to pick the perfect name.
I was Rage Against the Machine I was using them for inspiration for band names. None of them ever flew with the other members of the band, though. Like, one was Fistagon.
Fistagon.
That five-sided fistagon.
I like that.
That was one. I thought it was a cool name, and there were 5 guys in the band.
Yeah.
Fistagon, like
Yeah.
a hexagon.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I
like
thought
that.
it was cool. And then another one was Fierce Overseer.
Fierce Overseer.
Yeah.
I like that. That's got a new wave of British heavy metal kind
But
of
yeah,
sound to it.
The Rapist, the Fierce Overseer. That's in
Yeah.
Sleep Now in the Fire.
Yeah.
That's from that song. I would get a lot of good band names from Rage Against the Machine, but
Sure.
nobody ever went with them. They're like, nah, it's stupid.
That's just something out of a Rage Against the Machine song, man.
Oh, I would tell them that. And I'd also say it rolls off the tongue.
That's awesome.
All right, we got an intro to record.
I was in a couple of bands with no names.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The band with no name?
No, not the band
Oh,
with
okay.
no name.
I was going to call my band That One Band.
That one band.
Yeah, and
What are you going to see tonight?
and our
That
album
One
was going to
Band.
be called That One Song, That One Album.
Yeah.
And our first single would be called That One Song.
That one song.
Our second single would be called That Other Song.
Let's see what the fuck, man. Now that, I'd be interviewing you now if you'd have done that.
Yeah, we would have been playing stadiums.
Well, I'm really excited today. This is the big moment. I mean, Decibel Geek's been on the air for a little while now, but I never dreamed that I would ever talk to Chris Sinzak.
No, he's that one guitar player.
That one guitar player from that one band. You know who I'm talking about. They got that one song.
Yeah, from that one album.
It's an honor to have you here,
They're on
sir.
that world tour. That one world tour.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
That also didn't fly with anybody either.
That's
Nobody
sad.
appreciated my genius.
That's sad because I find that to be genius. Wow. What could have been?